Before I begin this video, I do want to talk about some trigger warnings that could be mentioned or talked about within this video. If any of these make you feel uncomfortable, please click off the video for your mental health and your safety. Some of the topics we'll be discussing is sexual assault, child sexual assault, rape, child rape, and incest. If any of these bother you, please do click off the video if these disturb you in any means. Yeah. So if you're still watching this video even after it and you've gone through these things that I have listed, please reach out to these sources that are listed on the screen. You are not alone in this, and I am here for you. We are here for you. They are here for you. So no matter what you've gone through or what you're currently going through, there are people out there that can help you. With that being said, hi everyone, I'm Alison Chajuan. I am a teen writer. Today is April, which is known as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It also covers a lot of other things like autism, child abuse, and I think stress as well. But sexual assault is like the main thing during April. And during April, a lot of people wear teal ribbons. I don't own teal, unfortunately. All I have is a dark blue tank top. That's why I put on these earrings, hoping it'll at least show my support to this month of awareness. So all of the characters that I'll be talking about have gone through various types of sexual assault throughout their life, and what I have noticed is that it's just the entire series that I have written. So for the first character I have is Henry David Myers. So he's part of the Red series. His book is called Dark Red. His case was a rape case. He was 50 at the time of the attack, and the attacker was 18-year-old Valeria Alicia Casillas. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, a girl can't rape a guy. He must have enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah. That is why a lot of people don't come out and tell these stories, because there are people out there who say stuff like that. So to get a whole understanding of how that had happened is that Henry, big famous actor, dad was famous, mom was famous actor. He picked up Valeria off the streets and he didn't want her, but after a while he was like, okay, fine, I'll take care of her, but she will just play as my daughter. And little did he know that Valeria was developing an obsession with him, and that would lead to his downfall. So the day of the attack, it was Valeria's 18th birthday. She just turned 18, and he told her, hey, like, you're 18 now, it's wonderful. If there's anything I can get you, anything you want, I will get it for you, because he's rich. So the day goes on and nothing really happens, and at night falls. Henry's like, hey Valeria, like, you haven't told me what you wanted. And that's when the attack came. Remember, Henry was only 50, Valeria was 18. That is a 13-year age gap. And the attack was caused by a female, 18 years old. The victim was Henry, 50 years old. So that's just like a little, like, it can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter age. It doesn't matter gender. It doesn't matter what you are wearing. Henry was wearing like a suit, for crying out loud. He was wearing like a shirt and some pants. it doesn't matter what you do to yourself. You can have your entire body covered and it'll still happen. You can have like a different skin color from the person sitting next to you and it'll still happen. It doesn't matter what you do to yourself, how you cover yourself, how you act, how you speak. It will sometimes happen. And even age, it doesn't matter, which unfortunately brings us to our next character, Alice. So for a little background on Alice, Alice comes from immigrant parents. Alice wasn't able to attend school. She was held back due to her birthday, so like a late birthday. And so her mother was concerned, oh, she's gonna fall behind. She's not gonna be able to learn English, gonna be able to read. So she signed her up for a show. So think like child actors. Think of Alice as a child actor, and unfortunately sexual assault or rape by child actors happens so often. So Alice's mother signs Alice up for a show and thinking she'll learn English, she won't fall behind, so therefore it'll be good for her. So Alice is in this show production and the boss slash director is run by a man named Danny. At the time, Alice is 6 years old and Danny is 41, in his early 40s to mid 40s, somewhere around there. And a couple episodes go by. This is why sometimes it's really important to know the signs when someone is grooming your child, because what Danny does to Alice is that he sort of has her not surrounded. He makes her seem special. So what he does is that he buys her stuff, he bedazzles her, he buys her jewelry, he buys her toys, so dolls, things that he knows that Alice will enjoy. And slowly he starts to isolate Alice from the rest of the child actors who are slightly older than her. And yeah, it's always important to know the signs, because usually, I mean, it can sometimes be hard to tell when they're just being nice to when they're literally grooming your child. Because I mean some of the signs that I can remember from when I did my research was they'll be friends with the parents. They'll be very friendly. They usually go for like children with single parents, struggling backgrounds. They'll offer to help you. So say you don't have time in the day, they'll offer to be like, no, it's okay. Like I can take Timmy to soccer practice. They connect with the child. So it's sort of like, oh, you like Marvel comics? Oh, I can go get you some more. Like, I just saw that a new one had just come out. And then, so they'll just build this relationship with you and the child and giving gifts and everything. And then they'll start isolating the child. Or I think they'll attack the child. So something as like testing boundaries, sort of. So, oh, come give me a hug, high five, the touching of head, maybe even shoulders. And then they'll isolate the child from the parent. and then attack. And then once they attack, they were like, don't tell anyone because no one will believe you. If you do say something, something bad will happen to your family, so on and so forth. I'll hurt you, whatever. So that's sort of Alice's situation, where Danny sort of grooms her. He becomes very friendly with her parents. He offers to help them, and obviously they're like, no, 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 we just want her to learn English, to be able to read. He buys her stuff. He isolates Alice from the other child actors, and he attacks, and he goes, don't tell anyone, like, I'm gonna hurt you, something bad will happen, so on and so forth. So her whole story revolves around her attack and her having the bravery to file him in court, and what she goes through after said attack. Her attack is called statutory rape. So basically it's a rape where a minor is involved. So next up we have Diana Candelaria. So hers is a little less, maybe sort of less intense than the first two. So this sort of essay was sort of caused by her boyfriend, later on known as her ex-boyfriend Dalton. The type of assault she goes through with him is fondling. Fondling is the touching of inappropriate parts. So Dalton touching Diana's breast, her lower region, so on and so forth. Another one is forced kissing. So I guess, he is forcing himself on her, and she's just not ready. Mind you, it's 18, 19, 20 years old. Diana's 18. She's in college for her first year in college, and Dalton has an unknown age, but he's probably 19, 20. So this one's a little less intense, but even so, it's still essay. It still leaves you with an uncomfortable feeling of what just happened. What do I do? Was this okay? And it can be terrifying because you don't know what to do. Do you report this? Do you just let it go? Even more so because that's your boyfriend. Like, oh, he's allowed to touch you. He's allowed to make out with you, kiss you, whatever. But if someone isn't ready, if someone feels awkward about it, it's not love. It's not affection. It's sexual assault. It's a crime to touch someone inappropriate. It's like going up to someone and touching them where they don't want to. And then we have Aslan Magnolia. Magnolia is a name I'll probably change. But Aslan's situation is a lot different than the other ones, because Henry and Valeria is not a common crime, because it's usually the female being attacked than the male, but it's common for it to be considered a normal. I don't want to say normal, but it's normal because it happens a lot. And then Alice is a statutory rape. Diana's is just touching. Aslan's case, it's incest. The assault is caused by his mom. So it's the same thing as Diana's. Fondling, his mom sort of touching him where she shouldn't be, and indecent exposure. So I know that especially for younger children, parents tend to typically shower with their parents tend to change with their parents of the same sex. However, in Aslan's case is very continuous throughout his childhood and his teenage years. So imagine a small scenario of Aslan being 12, 14 years old in his mom's bedroom and just watching her change. That is indecent exposure because she's exposing her upper region and her lower region to her 12-year-old, 14-year-old son. And that makes him uncomfortable, and that is considered assault and fondling. So yeah, no matter what you or these characters go through, it is considered sexual assault if consent is not present. And the thing about consent is that it's flexible. You can say yes one moment, and in the middle you can say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm uncomfortable with what we're doing. So, for example, let's talk about sex. Sex is a normal thing. Everyone knows what it is. That's where consent takes a major play. You can say yes, and in the middle you can say stop, red, pineapple, whatever, to tell the other person to stop. If someone does not respect your boundaries, then that is assault. And it could be the same thing of, say, you're in the middle of it and they take off their condom. That is assault. They don't respect your limits of what you can take in bed. That is assault. There's just a lot of things that many people go through, and it can be hard to talk about it because as someone in Diana's case and Aslan's case, maybe even, it's hard to wrap your head around it and say, what did I just go through? Is this okay? Is this normal? Because in Diana's case, it's her boyfriend. A lot of people say like, oh no, it's okay, it's normal. But if she feels uncomfortable, then it's not okay. And a lot of people will be like, then why didn't she say no? A lot of people, especially someone like me, it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no. It's hard to stand up for yourself. And sometimes in response to that, you just reciprocate what they are doing. So I don't know how to say this, I don't know how to start this. In eighth grade, I sat next to this boy and randomly he just touched my thigh, and I looked at him weirdly, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't say like, I couldn't say, hey, can you please not do that? I just reciprocated it. I just did it back, and it just went back and forth. Mind you, I didn't really know the guy. And yeah, same thing in Aslan's case. That's his mother. So it could be, especially in his kids' years, it could be to like, oh, you know, she has to take me to the store. She a lot of things, women's restroom, so on and so forth. But in its teenage years, that's a whole different thing. So those are the 4 characters that I wanted to talk about mainly. I can go into greater detail or respond to your questions in the comment section if you are lost or confused on anything. As I said, it can happen to anyone. It doesn't matter where you come from, how you grew up, even. It happens to everyone. And no matter what, I'm here for you. We're here for you. Even when it did happen, it was never your fault, and it never will be. And I hope that this video gives you confidence to know that you're not alone. There are people out there who have experienced the same thing as you have, and there should be no reason for us to compare our stories because each one was a crime, and it was a cracked, dropped lamp in your life, and now you're struggling to see in the dark. And yeah, I hope that you're able to heal from the past and move on to the future. I hope that you are receiving the help that you need to recover from what you are going through, and I'm always here for you no matter what.